I mean, a personal brand is exactly that, a personal brand. If you have a company, then your company has a brand ethos. So you have to, what's the point of a brand in the first place? The point of a brand in the first place is credibility and relatability and authenticity and trust. So it has to be done at some regard, at some level. You can decide if you want to hide behind a company to protect your personal life, or if you can be the face of your company yourself and suffer. There's advantages and disadvantages to both. Your personal life suffers when you're a personal brand. But particular case, but then also there's been massive and monumental benefits. There are some good things about it. So it depends what you want to do and what industry you want to get involved in. A lot of people ask me about personal branding and come and say, should I do a personal brand? And I'd often argue that it doesn't matter if you should or not. Firstly, can you? Can you do a personal brand? Can you do a personal brand? What about you as a person is going to get people vested in you? And if you actually go down the rabbit hole and analyze it, you're going to realize that unless you've suffered and had a difficult life and have a bunch of interesting stories and war stories and all the things we're talking about, all the bad things, you're going to suffer to build a personal brand anyway. If you're born into a rich family and your life goes well and everything's fine and now you have a bunch of money and you try and start a personal brand based on the fact that you have money, nobody's going to care. Nobody's interested in all the good things that have happened to you, and nobody's interested in how nice your life is. Nobody cares. Maybe if you show enough money, you can get some temporary interest, but not for long. The only people who can build a brand off having a perfect life are women. Look, I'm beautiful. Look, I'm in Louis Vuitton. Look, I'm skiing. Chicks can do that because they're physically attractive. Men can't. All the men you can name with truly strong personal brands have very interesting stories, and interesting stories usually involve danger, risk, pain, suffering. So if you say, oh, should I build a personal brand? Well, can you? And if you can, then perhaps you should consider it. But if you can't, then you have to sit and say, well, how could I? And the only way you could is to suffer. Are you prepared to suffer in the real world, not on the internet, not pretending to suffer on Twitter? Are you prepared to suffer in the real world, the genuine consequence and the genuine risk that it's going to take for you to be interesting enough for people to sit and want to listen to you, for you to have a strong personal brand? That's the actual question when people say about personal branding. Batman's personal brand is kicking everyone's ass, and he only did that because his parents. So you have to decide, do you want to have would you choose to have your parents killed to be Batman at that level? So, because I think a lot of personal branding, especially at the beginning of personal branding, you could buy a fast car and that was it. You could rent a car and talk some shit. But everyone's bored of that now. I kind of feel like I've raised the bar and kind of ruined it for everyone, is to be interesting, like, yeah, but did they throw you in a dungeon in Romania? Yeah, there's my tips for you. Go suffer. Go suffer and tell people all the lessons you learned along the way, and people will respect you knowing that you've been through something which is difficult. Respect has always lied on the other side of fear. Still does right now. The reason we all watch the big boxing match and have so much respect for the men who get in there is because it's scary to do. Even if you don't cerebrally sit and think, I would be scared to fight in Madison Square Gardens in front of all these people, well then go sign up for a fight and you'll learn very quickly that you are scared, because now you've even just started training for it. You're nowhere near the event and you're nervous all the time and you don't want to do it because it's terrifying. Respect lies on the other side of fear. So people are going to respect you if you do things that they'd be scared to do themselves. And then they're going to say, well, I don't want to go through that because that sounds scary. That sounds terrible. Let me at least try and get the lessons from it. And he's gone through it, so I can learn from his experience, or I can learn from his mistake. I think as AI, we're talking about them replacing salesmen. Well, AI could replace a lot of personal brands too now. ChatGPT is pretty good. Some people are so basic and so vaporous and so thin that ChatGPT could talk the same kind of garbage they talk. Unless you have some suffering to anchor to, how can you have any kind of personal brand at all? Yeah, and maybe I'm just talking from my own experience because my brand is built on pain and suffering, and maybe I'm trying to cope my way for having all the bad things happen to me that have happened to me. But if I didn't have them all, I don't know what I'd talk about. Okay, I have a fast car. But the coolest thing about me having a fast car is that I grew up with absolutely nothing. The coolest thing about me having a fast car is that they tried to take it off me and threw me in a dungeon. The coolest thing about me having a fast car is when I'm gonna get back in it after they failed to seize it off me when I was on an Interpol red notice for garbage. That's the cool part. Without the dark, there's no light. I like Connor. I have respect for anybody who stands up for what they believe in. And truthfully, even if you disagree with me on every single subject, if you stand up for what you believe in and you act remotely honorably, I have respect for you as a person. And it takes a lot of different types of people to keep the world functioning. I don't like snakery, and I don't like deception, and I don't like dishonesty. But I feel like Connor, I'm sure we don't agree on everything. I feel like he's an honest person. He probably says what he means and means what he says. And that's enough for me to get my base respect as a man. And He has another fight coming up soon. We'll see how that goes. But I feel like if you're trying to build a personal brand, I think people now are looking for, I think the internet landscape is also changing, because I don't think people are looking to be just entertained anymore. 3 or 4 years ago, even 5 years ago, you could be entertaining and people cared.
Right.
Because life wasn't perhaps as difficult as it was. Inflation wasn't so high, whatever you want to call it. But they just watch a show and go, okay, he's being a clown, I'm entertained, fine. I think people are looking for answers now. I think people are looking for solutions. And they're only going to believe and trust in the answers you give them if you've tried and tested them, which requires suffering. I think that the internet landscape is changing. People aren't so interested in watching people just have fun anymore. People aren't so interested in watching these idiots just put on makeup anymore. Now they want a solution for their problem because their rent is due and it must be paid. Well, how do we find a person we can trust, and why can we trust him?
Yeah.
And the easiest answer is, well, because I've been through X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
That's how you prove you can be trusted. How do you prove you have discipline? Run a marathon. Then you can prove you have discipline. So for all the people who listen to your newsletter who want a personal brand, okay, go do something extremely difficult and tell them about it and tell them what you learned and prove you did it, and then do something else and continue to compound all those difficult things in your life until you become a better version of yourself, which makes you more competent, which also amplifies your success, and everything works together, and before you know it, you have a huge personal brand. But if you don't suffer, if you don't go through pain, I don't know how you're even gonna have one anymore. I feel like a lot of the attention geopolitically is going to be moving towards the global south and the second and third world. And I think a lot of people understand there's always been more opportunity in the second and third world than in the first world, where a lot of things are wrapped up. I think the internet is giving a lot of access to these places that perhaps didn't exist before.
Absolutely.
I think artificial intelligence involved in these places is also going to be extremely important. I feel like selling information or being the barrier to information is a fantastic way to get wealthy in the world today. There's a lot of people who want things explained to them in a very concise, very quick, very compendious way. And if you can take information which is perhaps freely available that takes an hour to explain and explain it in 30 seconds or less, find a way to monetize that. Especially if you can draw attention to yourself and make it clear how much time you can save people. Especially if you could use artificial intelligence to get that 30 seconds down to 25 seconds. There's actually endless opportunity if you're prepared to work. I don't think that the problem is a lack of opportunity, and I don't really even truly believe in saturated markets. I still think that a lot of people will look at a lot of internet businesses and go, oh, it's saturated. Let's take something that people have been doing for a while. Copywriting. Copywriting, everyone's been trying to copyright, everyone's done it. Well, I would argue that there's a bunch of people right now making money from copywriting as we speak, who are idiots and who are lazy. And they're still making money. So there's no such thing as a saturated market, because there's always a huge subsect of that market which are very easy to outcompete if you try your best. And they're living from it. You could take most of their business. There's always a bottom percentile. So I think that you should be looking to, when I say, I've said this on many podcasts before about selling information or garnering attention, but I don't want people to confuse that with being a clown, which is very different things. I think that if you're prepared to suffer and you're prepared to show that your brand or your personal brand stands up for something, and you have information which people then believe they need, you're going to be very successful in the world today.
Yeah.
My personal thoughts are, I don't know how people in the first world aren't extremely concerned. You were being replaced by effectively foreign call centers for a while. That's something that's been going on for a while. And now we have artificial intelligence coming, and most people are so boring and uninteresting, and they have not suffered enough to be unique. Therefore, they're going to soon be replaced by a free chatbot. Free chatbot that could already replace a large subsect of the population as we stand, right? Imagine we're going to be in 2 or 3 years from now. I think the average person in the Western world hasn't woken up and realized that everything's becoming more expensive and your currency's inflated and there's no chance that anyone's going to fix it for you, and they're out to replace you, people from the second and third world who will work harder than you for less money, and the robots are coming and they're going to replace you for even less than the second worlders want, and you're sitting there thinking you don't have to be exceptional and you don't have to learn to think outside the box and you don't have to suffer in any way to become a unique person, and you're just going to somehow, what, pay your bills? No, you're not. You're going to get destroyed. Destruction's coming for you, and then you're going to become a useless person because you're not going to have a job that you're prepared to do at the price that people are prepared to pay. And once you become a useless person, you have to sit and go further down the rabbit hole of history and see what's happened to all the people of Earth that were useless. What happened to all the people who had dreams and aspirations and expectations, and they were no good to those in power. when I saw that Sora AI thing, this is to all the cameramen in the room, including my guy. I saw that Sora AI thing, I was like, bro, even camera guys are gonna be gone soon. Hollywood's gone, actors are gone, script writers are gone, everyone's gonna lose their job. Everyone. You have to be sitting there, and I don't know if the average cameraman is sitting saying, they're gonna replace me with this. Maybe not now, maybe not in a year, but certainly in 2. They're gonna be able to ask a robot for the thing I would take months to film, and the robot's gonna spit it out instantly. So, how do I, A, integrate this with my skills so that when they want to use the robot, instead of asking the robot directly, they ask me because they can get a better result via me? How do I use AI along with my camera skills so I can continue to retain my job? 2, how do I diversify? What can I do that this robot can't do currently? Don't believe it will be able to do into the future. The average camera guy doesn't give a shit. Oh, camera guy, Sora, yeah, that's cool.